Welcome to the witching hour. Yes, the hour of the day when the veil is thin and magic happens. We have a wonderful guest for you today. She's a dear new friend, one of those, the besties you minute you make her, you minute you meet her, the minute, whatever you call. She is an entrepreneur. She is an author. She is a filmmaker. She is a producer. And now she is even a podcaster. Welcome, Jessica Kustron. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me. And I look so forward to seeing the beautiful face. So
And me
thank you.
too. You. We just met a few weeks ago in Florida on your podcast, which we will talk about. And you never meet one of those people that right away, the second you meet her, you're going, we're going to be friends. We're going to be close friends. And I've probably known each other for lifetimes. That's exactly how I felt about you the minute we met.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. It's definitely a kindred spirit. We're like soul sisters, literally.
Yes. Yes. So you really
Yeah.
are. I talk about, I know me having many fingers in many pots and many businesses. You probably have put me to shame with what you do. Again, you are a businesswoman. You have Pampered Peaches, beautiful salons all over the place. You're a filmmaker now. You've just started the podcast. And even you and I have a project together because what are you, you're like a brand guru, right? What does that mean?
Yeah. So I love branding people's ideas, like for you, for instance, when I saw how passionate you were about your dolls, I said, there has to be like some kind of business that I can do for you that can make it really explode, not only your passion, but also, something that can allow people to have that experience without really being there. You talked a lot about dolls, and there's really cool stories about dolls, but how can people see that aren't able to get out and go to, a haunted museum or, somewhere in Key West to go see even like something like Robert the Doll, right? Like, how can we see that if maybe they don't really have means to fly out there or they're too busy to go? So I just have ideas. When I hear people's stories, I like to create businesses or brands to tell that person's story. So I like to say I'm like a brand guru. And in your case, it's more like a brand guru, right? So
Yes.
yeah, I just love telling stories and giving people experiences. So yeah.
So, yes. So, you guys, gather your haunted dolls. Coming very soon. We're going to launch it sometimes this month,
Yeah.
right about now when we're airing. And we will have all that information. It'll be on my website. It'll be on Jess's websites, which we will have all
Yeah.
that information by the end of this show, where you can post your own haunted doll and the story about it. We'll have the
Yeah.
famous haunted dolls, and people can, online beautiful museum and stories and things. So you really
Yeah.
are a storyteller. And you've just
Thank
started
you.
a new podcast, which I'm honored to be one of the very first people on. Flew out to see
You
it.
are.
You had just done Jay Wasley from my show from Ghost Adventures, and then you just
Mhm.
did my bestie, Father Sebastian. He flew out. So you're starting out really
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them.
Oh,
Everybody's so amazing. And I'm so happy that everybody's so accepting and wanting to come on and, really allow me to help tell their story. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's called Jess's Story. And so it's one of those things that a lot of people sit and wonder. It has a little bit conspiracy, a little bit of hauntings, a little bit of stories that you aren't sure are true or aren't they, right? So it's one of those things. I've always loved, stories like that where do we really know the truth or is it only just a story? So yeah, I'm excited to launch that. You are one of my first. I'm so happy about that. And, we're really excited. So that should be launching in the next couple weeks as well.
that is great. And again, you have a beautiful studio. Wait till you see her
Thank you.
podcast studio. It is gorgeous, top all the way. So you have, again, so many different careers and things. Have you always been someone who kind of follows your curiosity or just opens doors as they come along? Is there something you wanted to be when you were a little girl? And
That's funny. So when I was little, I didn't know. I used to see like actually my dad had an old producer chair. He collects like collectibles and stuff. And I remember just sitting in it like with my arms crossed, a little sassy pants. And he'd be like, "What are you doing with your life?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but I know I'm going to go far, you know?" So I think I just wanted, I always used to say, I'm going to follow my dreams. And I'm really one of those people that I just love to do it all. I really do. I'm passionate about everything I do. If I feel in my heart that I want to do something, I do it, you know. My main business, my main bread and butter is going to be my franchise. I have over 100 locations in contract and we're growing. And I'm able to help entrepreneurs have their own business, and it's called the Pampered Peach. So I'm really excited about it because I've been waxing for 16 years and it's always been something that I love doing. I've been really great at it. But then it didn't just stop there. Like I felt like I was still missing something. I felt like I was missing my storytelling, which I've always been able to write and things like that as a child. So I wanted to continue doing that too. So whenever I would fly to, places for the Pamper Peach, I hated flying. So I said, you know what? Let me just get a book and write. Like, let me write and take my mind off flying. And soon enough, I started having books stack up. And then I'm like, it'd be really cool to make these into movies. So then that started. And then it's like, I meet great people like you. And I'm like, I really want to tell their story. And then it started there. And then it's like, I see what you love doing. And then I'm like, I really want to make a business for her. And it'd be really cool if we had one of these. And then it goes there. But my primary focus is always the pampered peach. But I just do all the other stuff, kind of like, you know, extra. Like instead of watching TV, I don't really watch TV. So
Right. No, you
yeah.
make TV. I've seen your video. I've seen some of your
Thank
movies. You
you.
are crazy creative. What's again amazes me about you, because I do talk a lot left brain, right brain, left reasoning, rational, 1 + 1 = 2, logical brain. We need
Yeah,
that because that make part of what makes you that entrepreneur and the franchisor. But the creative,
absolutely.
intuitive artist, you are off the charts there too. The way you dance beautifully between logic and intuition, knowledge and your sense of knowing is like very few people I've ever met anywhere. You could be that
Thank
smart
you.
businesswoman and an artist to the nth degree. So that is a
Thank
gift
you.
that you certainly have. I'm sure you've always had it. Now you're knowing where to put it into thing.
Yeah.
Uh, so, is there so you just always knew that you always just knew you weren't going to live an ordinary life, or you didn't even know what that meant?
I think a lot of people, I think, in my opinion, I think a lot of like the more artsy you are, sometimes it comes from a little bit of a darker place, right? From my case, my mother passed away. She was murdered when I was 5. So we didn't really have like being with her. I didn't know any different, but I didn't go to like the park. You know what I mean? That wasn't like my typical being like 3, 4, 5. We didn't go to the parks and things like that. We went to like rehabs and stuff like that. So I would sit there in my mind and create a different reality for myself. So I remember being 3 and her boyfriend, like, she was through a lot of domestic violence, but her boyfriend jumping on, the car and bashing the windshield. So for me, instead of being there as a child, my brain dissociated and created a different reality. So in my vision, I was in like, a spaceship zooming away from the monster. You know what I mean? So my creativity became my reality. So I think as I grew up and I had more of a normal life after my mom passed away, I went to like all the best schools and things like that. And I went to therapy and things like that. It just kind of became boring because I was just like, well, where can I really use this at? You know? And naturally, I would go into an area like anytime I go out of town, it's like a feeling I have of what businesses should be there. You know what I mean? I'm like, why did this person do that? I would have done this. And it's almost like something that I just know would work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit of that. It's not something that I prepared for, but I think this is a way for me to hug that small child inside of me and allow her to play. Does that make sense?
Yeah, complete sense.
Um,
So
yeah.
how much of that, again, is that the dance between your logical brain talking, what can we do here, and your intuitive brain? So how much of your success is strategy and how much is intuition? Or is it just all thrown in one beautiful magical cauldron?
It's all intuition thrown into a beautiful magical cauldron. I never said, I actually did not graduate from high school. I dropped out. I have 4 kids. I raised them all by myself. And so I didn't, school was never like my thing. I was more artsy, like to do my own thing. I love having fun. So I wouldn't say it's more logic. I think common sense. I definitely had common sense, right? I knew right from wrong. But everything really led me with my intuition, like a lot of things. Like I've used numbers to guide me. I've used feathers. Feathers are a big thing. You know, they always say like when a feather appeared, an angel is near. So I always take that as like a yes, go this way. I ask I go to bed and I ask the question, or I wake up and I have an answer. And then I kind of just like go in that direction. So I remember like with the Pampered Peach, I actually was fired. I was fired from a doctor's office. I had never been fired a day in my life. So I didn't even know how to experience like what to do. You know what I mean? And I remember going to bed and I was like, dang, that doesn't feel good. I'm going to create something where I never have to work again to be fired. And it wasn't for any type of reason except that they were just, hiring and there was no more room to grow. So I wanted to grow. They couldn't grow anymore. So I was stuck. And I'm a very loyal person. So I would have been stuck there for a long time. So with that being said, I went to sleep. I didn't know. I just knew I wasn't going to work for someone again. And then boom, the idea came in my head. They'll open up a salon. And I'm like, don't have experience with that. Well, it doesn't matter, just do it. And it's something about when you get that feeling inside, when you don't have anything to lose, you have everything to gain, you know? So I think I was a single mom. I had 2 kids at the time. Something inside told me to go open a salon. You know what I mean? So most people will call you crazy, but I think those that know what I'm talking about, they know what I'm talking about. And I was just bold enough to listen to that voice. And I am here now. Like I'm literally in a room at one of the locations that I am opening this weekend in Maryland. So shout out to my new Maryland store. And then I'm going to Virginia in 2 days to open another, and then Texas in a week. So, and then Nashville in 2 weeks. So, like, all of that started by me listening to that little voice inside of go open that salon. You know what I mean? And of course, there's going to be that fear, but you just do it anyways, right? Like, what do you got to lose?
Yeah. Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, I would say it's more based on
No
intuition.
wonder I love you. That we it is the same. It's that just do it. That you get excited. It's fear could freeze you
You
in
just
your
do it.
fear could freeze you in your tracks and step back or in like
Yeah.
okay, I'm scared. Let's go. And we're
Yeah.
so similar that way. I mean, I don't think I have the entrepreneurship that you have, but I did the same thing when I was an actor, a performer, a dancer in Hollywood, and I hit 30 and I was too old for Hollywood. I'm like, well, that won't work. I'll just become a producer. I'll start a production company and hire myself. And that's exactly what I did. So I
Yeah.
ran my production company for 20 years because I just did. I didn't know how to do it. I just did it. So maybe that's why I'm
That's
kindred
different.
spirit. Yeah. And then this world took
And I do want to say too about like your fear, right? So like a lot of people think that your fear is like the enemy, but it's really not. Like your fear is there to protect you. Okay. So like if you're out there and think of you as a child, like little children put their hand on a hot stove all the time, right? Because they don't know better. But as we grow, we know better. Even if you haven't burned yourself, you've seen it enough times to know that if you touch a stove, you're going to burn yourself. So your brain is just there to make sense for you, to try to stop you from making mistakes. So of course, however you were grown up to believe. See, my mother was so dysfunctional that like there was such a beauty to it. She was my favorite person in the world. If I told her, let's jump in the water and be mermaids, she jumped in the water and became a mermaid. And to most people, you'd see that and be like, well, she's dysfunctional. To me, she taught me the greatest gift in the world. And that was that you can chase and do any of your dreams and be anything that your heart believes that you can be. And she taught me that. And so that voice kind of outgrew what my brain was saying was like, Jazz, you're going to open up a business. Hey, are you sure? What if you don't have enough money? What if you don't have this? What if you don't have that? And it's like, I heard my mom say, just jump in on water and be a mermaid. You want to be a mermaid? Jump in, be a mermaid. So fear is not your enemy. Fear is just trying to protect you. So what I tend to do, and this is something that I use, is when I get that feeling of like fear, I say, you know what, fear, thank you. Thank you for giving me that logic, but I'm okay right now. I'm going to do it anyway. So thank you. Still work for other things, but this one, zip it because I'm doing it anyway.
Right.
You know?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And again, my mom kind of gave me that same message. So all you parents out there, tell your kids they could do anything. Because my mom said you could do anything.
I mean,
Sorry, I'll start that. Because my mom too, from childhood, said you could do anything, you could be anything you want. And again,
yeah.
we have. So you can all you parents out there. Now again, you're very much business. You are very inspirational. You're very motivational, and you have your new Jess. I probably see a very big speaking and perhaps book career in your future too, if you are so inclined. Just
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I do too. I feel like there's more, whether it's speaking, mentoring. I want to help other people achieve their dream as well. I do, especially people that may not even believe in themselves, a lot of people, there's not a lot of, I feel like there's great mentors and speakers out there and things like that. But I feel like you have to know your story. That's their story. So you have to know your own story too. You know what I mean? So if I go out there and I do, this speaking, I don't want you to follow in my steps. I want you to go in your inner child and see what you like to do and find something that fulfills your inner self or your higher self. You know what I mean?
I think that's beautiful, and I
Yeah.
agree wholeheartedly. So you guys watch for Jeff. She's going to be everywhere. I see it coming. And again, you're also going to put that same magic and belief system into everything from your salons to your movies to your podcast to everything. Now let's go to the
Absolutely.
supernatural, the paranormal a little bit. Considering we are opening a doll and haunted doll museum, your first guest
Yeah.
on your show or Jay Wasley of Ghost Adventures and myself. Have you ever experienced anything paranormal or spirit wise?
So I actually grew up in a haunted house. So for me, when I told Jay when he first came out there, I told him like just straight watch those shows because a lot of time I felt like I seen a lot of things that didn't seem correct or real, or it's not very much as boo as people think. So when I first met him, I said, I'm sorry, but I never really watched it. But I watched one episode, and needless to say, I really, really, really in my heart know that that show is true. Like what they were experiencing, I've experienced before. I mean, it's just true. Like I know it's real. So I was very happy to have Jay on my show because I felt like it showcased the real thing instead of like, the boo, scary stuff. You know what I mean? So I've experienced that stuff as a little child. Ever since I was born, things followed me. To me, it was normal. So I would sit down in a chair and you would see like an indentation of something sitting right next to me. Or I would walk in a room and the lights would flicker or turn up higher, or I'd pass by the TV and someone would be watching it and then it turned to snow as soon as I passed it though. So with that being said, I always experienced these things as a kid, and unfortunately, I never was able to ask my mother, more about her past. But the man that murdered my mother, I just always felt like I wanted to ask him why. Like I wanted to look him, and a lot of people don't understand this. But to me, I want you to look in my eyes and tell me why you would take somebody's life. You know, for me, it was so traumatizing. And this was her ex-husband. And he married her and was very, was very jealous. And my mother was a beautiful woman. And when my mother was going to leave him because he had an alcohol problem, she was fighting to get me back. When she was going to leave him, he flipped out and murdered her. Um, so when I finally, he only got about 7 years in prison, which was crazy because he got manslaughter. So when I was about, I would say about 30, yeah, about 30 years old, 31, 30 years old, 31, I reached out and I asked him, like, why? Why? Just tell me why. And he said, well, when you were little, the first thing he asked me was, do you believe in good and evil? And it's like, that's coming from the man that murdered my mom. Do I believe in good and evil? Sure. So I was like, of course. And he said, well, blah, 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 your mother was a witch. And since the man that murdered my mother, right? So do I believe that my mother was a witch? Yeah, I believe it. But I also don't believe that's evil. I believe there was something in that house and in him that created a vulnerable state or an openness where that thing in the house was able to embody him, possess him, whatever name you say. But I also believe that he was at such a low vibration that that thing could be inside of him. So I really have experienced like real deal seeing possession, seeing, I've even been around people that I've known that has something very dark inside of them. I'm very good at seeing that right away. So I've kind of grown up with it my whole life. But yeah. So anyway, that man has passed since now. And it's sad to say that, when he passed, a lot of people saw this great man that passed away. Unfortunately, we have our own opinions about what great is. But needless to say, that's not my karma. So but yeah, I grew up with it. So, and I think Ghost Adventures since then I've been watching the show and I love it. So yeah, it's a great show. It really
It
is.
is. And we have a new series, a new season coming up. Everybody's been asking. They should be launching it any day, I think.
I'm
Because I just
excited
saw
about
an episode that they're going to turn into a two-parter. And we got so much stuff. But yeah, it is
it.
legit. That's why it is the oldest show out there, the longest lasting. I literally think it's season 31. The math doesn't work because it's like 20 years. I don't know how the math and how long a season is doesn't work. But it is legitimate. I could speak. They've never faked a thing and they're passionate about it. Part of your
Yeah.
success, I know and see, is your passion. Me too. Part of
Yeah.
my success is that passion, that 100% commitment, that dialing it up to 11
Yeah.
in what we're doing. We don't do things half-assed. We don't do
Yeah.
things.
No. And it's
There
your
goes that.
magic. It's your magic that makes things alive. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
You
So
are the magic.
from the second I worked that show, it got this is their passion and it's legit. Yes, we
Yeah.
shoot for 4 days to get that 44 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not always did it go that fast? No, it doesn't always go that fast. No, that was 4 days to get that fabulous 44 minutes, but nothing is fake. Honestly, if I've been to a location or a lot of places I send them, I go, you're gonna love this location. They will not have me go in and go, I feel this because I've done that, been there, done that. They'll literally have me stand outside and go, this is what I experienced there versus me pretending to relive it if I've done it. There's so much integrity in that. People don't get that and that's okay, but it is, you're right. You nailed it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, so, um, have you gone on any paranormal? I've got to get you on a ghost. Have you gone on any paranormal investigation?
I haven't because it's not that I kind of like stuff fun, right? Like whenever me and my kids and I go to like different locations, we'll go look at all of the haunted places. I love stuff like that. But again, not on like paranormal like hauntings of like super scary evil spirits. I haven't been around that. Only because I think I'm an empath, so I will feel a lot. And so it takes me a little bit longer to recover. I think the more that like, you've taught me some protection stuff. I think the more that I learn how to protect myself from that, maybe the stronger I'll be to be able to be around that. But yeah, no. I've seen so much like paranormal stuff that you know, I
Well,
love telling
I'm
stories about it. I would go with
I
you.
yeah,
I'll tell you, I
I
have a haunted house. There's a haunted house in LA that wants to get me out there. So I was
oh,
gonna
really?
have him on my podcast, and he's like, "Hey, you can just come here and film." And I was like, "Well, I think I'm gonna call Patty. I'm gonna call Sebastian.
And
I'm
we'll
calling
all do it
everybody."
together.
Yeah, and we're all gonna do it together. And honestly, like I asked Jay, I said, that house that my mother was murdered in, there's something in there for real. Like for real, for real. And I'm like, I almost feel like I'm gonna just call all my new friends and like, let's go get it. You know what I mean? Like truly, I would be willing to do something like that. But I feel bad for the ghosts when people hunt them, like ghost hauntings. It's
Oh,
like I
yeah, you've
almost
got
want
to
to ask their story of why they're there and why are they still hanging around. You know what I mean?
right. And I
Yeah.
teach that. I teach that in my school. Parent, you have to number one be respect. Nobody wants to be disrespected. The only
Yeah,
time
exactly.
bad and things have happened is when somebody got disrespectful. Whether you're dead or living, you don't. But know that
When you
one
told
thing,
me that story, Patty, about somebody catching on fire, like I would have
yeah,
freaking like died.
all on film. But
If
most ghosts
somebody would have literally caught on fire because they were disrespecting the spirit, for one, I'd probably like, well, serves you right. But second, I probably run out of there. You know what I mean?
yeah, well, nobody could get out of there. It was a very tight space. But
Yeah.
most ghosts are good. Like, go somewhere, go to a ball game, go to a movie, go to a mall. Most people are good. There may be one or two serial killers or bad people in there, but most people are good. Most spirits are good. They're hanging around, watching the kids, watching the grandkids, hanging out at the hotel where they had the best day of their life, or at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, swinging from the chandelier because they got an Academy Award there. Sadly, it's TV that makes you go to all the dark places. They never want
Yeah.
us to go to the happy ghosts. Like there's happy ghosts at the Biltmore, the Roosevelt. But they make you go to
And
the
those are the things
Signify.
I love to go to. But as far as like, I saw some really dark stuff on Ghost Adventures, like the Goat Man's Fringe. I don't know if I'm gonna do that because the little thing that they've seen, I've seen that. That thing has come into my room at night when an ex-boyfriend of mine left. And I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I'm not gonna say anything about when I think about the devil in him is. But, I remember looking over at because I wake up every night at 3 a.m. anyways. So I look over and I literally see, and it looks like half goat, half whatever. And I look and I was like, oh, well, am I allowed to curse in here or no?
That's okay. We'll bleep it
Okay,
out
I'll
if
just
needed.
go. Okay. I looked over and was like, oh, hell no. I look it again. You know what I mean? So it's like I turned my head because I don't want to see it. Because I've seen these things since I was little. Like I don't sleep in front of mirrors because I see things will watch me in the mirror. Like I've seen it. It's real. So I think when you're used to stuff like that, the hauntings really aren't as fun. But I love
Right.
seeing like the spirits around because of course we do have spirits around. Like, I grew up where my grandmother always spoke to spirits to find something. Like if you couldn't see, you call for Santa Lucia. It's like you couldn't do this. There's a saint that you call for everything. You know what I mean? So we grew up just speaking out to the spirits, which was normal. But as far as like the dark, stuff, it's not that's probably I like watching like, I like hearing about stories, and I love to tell the story, but I wouldn't wanna be a part of the story, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, about the
And
haunting.
and you don't have to.
Yeah,
Again, I go
yeah.
there to the dark, scary places because I know what I'm doing. It's good. I know how to
You know what you're doing.
and
Exactly, and
I
you're
bring
such
the
a
light
light.
into it. And I'm good
Yes,
at the on off
exactly.
switch. Turn it off, shut down.
Exactly. You know how to
We'll
do
be
it,
back.
and you're a footprint. Yes.
Yeah. So again, to teach people, and I've taught all these guys and the young ones and the YouTubers I work with, okay, That be respectful and bringing light into that
Always
dark.
be
But again,
respectful for sure.
but I'll always be respectful. But yeah, we'll go
Yeah.
hang out with some happy ghosts. Like Marilyn
Yeah.
Monroe is
That is
always
what I'm always
always by the
interested.
pool at the Hollywood Roosevelt.
Deal. And
And
we can go
have,
see Marilyn Monroe in the mirror too. I mean, totally down to that.
yeah,
She's one of my
totally
favorite
down
people.
for that.
So deal.
Um, so so again, you've certainly added the paranormal to your world. Do you think with your story again, you're a beautiful storyteller. You're very inspirational in your world. Do you think storytelling it really can heal people and teach people along the way?
I do. I think it can help people become understood too. I think a lot of people are misunderstood, even ghosts and spirits. Like, I feel like a lot of them become angry because, like a lack of love or, you know what I mean? Like, imagine if you were, and this is like, I'm always soft. Like, I get sad for like a little ant on the ground, right? So I'm always like saving every little thing. So, but I think like these, even with these spirits, right, or people's stories, like a lot of people, one little small thing that may be small to someone, like can affect them for the rest of their life. So I'm more of a mirror to people where I show them a part of themselves that they don't want to see. So, you either love me or leave me because I mean, I have people that have called me the devil, right? Because I've showed them a part of them that they hide from the world. So I have a couple of those. But most of the time, I try to show you about yourself so I can teach you to be accepted, right? Like accept yourself for who you are and understand why you are who you are because of that part of you that you don't want to look at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, like for instance, and like the smallest thing can affect it, something that may be small for me. A lot of children suffer because of a divorce. Like that is huge in somebody's life. And I know a lot of people that have gone completely like super dark because of their mom and dad's divorce. And me, I'm like, for me, my parents divorced and I'm like, good riddance. They argued all the time. You know what I mean? When I was little, but that's not how everybody thinks. So therefore it didn't affect me, but it affected other people in such tremendous ways that they grew up becoming a monster and hating women because their mother left their father. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like you look at that and they go on such a low vibration that they become such a negative, like entity almost. And they go
Right.
around their whole life belittling women and hurting women. So what I like to do, I hope to do is inspire people to find that little boy that was so angry and hug him and love him and say, you know what, this happened, but that's not what was supposed to make you. Understand that that was a part of your story, but that is not your story. Does that make sense? So I
Complete
hope that I can
perception.
inspire people with that type of inspiration where people can know themselves better. Because, to know yourself and to love yourself, and then you can really experience life in a different set of eyes, if that makes sense.
Right. And it's a new perception. And that's what
Yeah.
you see the what the good came out of the divorce, not the bad. And that is what
Yeah.
storytelling does. That is how
Yeah.
we hear it through stories. That is how we learn to have a different perception of things. So your
Exactly.
magic just went full circle. That is
Yeah,
amazing to me. So
yeah.
where do you think all your great ideas come? Are you driving along in the car? Are you in the shower? Do they come in your dreams, middle of the night, or it's just you're out here going, this person needs this business. This person needs to know this story. This person needs inspiration.
It's like all over. Like whenever I'm having a rough day, I really just sit. Sit in it. I had 3 stores that are opening, but I was kind of going through a little rough patch. Somebody that I needed to release a long time ago, it still keeps popping up, even to the point where I even got a phone call. Now, is it me manifesting that or who knows? But it came up and I said, you know what? I need to take a road trip. When I go on a road trip, I first of all drive 20 hours. So
Yeah.
I have 20 hours. I listen to the same song sometimes and it'll just be in my ears and I'll just release that energy as I'm going. And once I'm able to kind of like release those distractions, like last night, I'll tell you, I was sitting down outside and all of a sudden, these beautiful, like little lightning bugs were all in the tree. It looked like a huge Christmas tree. It was an amazing thing. And I was standing there grounding myself, feet in the grass, and I was looking at it and it was so beautiful. I thought of a whole movie about it. So I think it happens. I think your mind will allow you to create if you kind of like silence the chaos. You know what I mean? Because for 20 hours, I listened to a song repeatedly to kind of like burn that energy out and just go. And sometimes it just became like back noise or whatever, back music, like white noise or whatever. But once I really just burned through it, and I felt totally good today, I burned through it, connected back with nature, took my feet in the grass, looked at all the beautiful beautiful blessings that we have here and how magical the world is. And I think when I reconnected to my true self, which is the little girl with her even black, looking looking at the give me one second. I'm so sorry about this.
That's okay. We
Can you hear
might
me?
have
Sorry.
lost you. Oh, are you back? Okay, you're back. Okay, so
Yeah. Sorry. Dad saw me 500 times. So I think when I really connected back with myself, like, to Aristotle said it, to thine own self be true to yourself. I'm that little girl that touches every tree. My kids used to make fun of me. They're like, you're such a tree hugger. I am. I am a tree hugger because those trees will take anything you have, they'll take it away from you. Like, go stand in the ground, go talk outside. Like, stop relying on people and start connecting with nature. Like we have everything we need here and life is really magical. Like just go, just do it. Stop gossiping and chaos and all that. Like start living. You know what I mean? My ideas come to me when I'm in a peaceful place. That's when they come to me the most, is when my heart is at peace. Yeah.
well, I literally tell people to go hug that tree. In my old
Yeah.
magic book, sit with the tree. They are the information keepers. So uh, I just love this is going so because you're talking about fireflies. You're talking. I thought for the first time when we're shooting this 3 days ago, I saw for the first time in my life real fireflies. I didn't know what they were.
You've
And you know
never
where I
seen that?
was? I've never seen them. We do not have them out west. But you know where I was? I was at Goatman's Bridge. I was doing an
Oh, you saw the
investigation.
boat being sprayed?
Yes, and they were beautiful, and there
Uh-huh.
was this beautiful circle. I did not again, because I've been doing this so long, I know that there's a goat man there, and I know there are some bad Ku Klux Klan and lynchings, but there's also this beautiful light bright. Again, how we direct where we go. So, that's so funny because I was literally my first firefly. So my Goatman's Bridge experience was like I saw fairies. I saw fireflies
I
in this
love
beautiful
it.
room.
Like, I love they're so magical. Absolutely.
It's
I love it.
I was like, what? Those aren't car lights. What is that? With this little
Yeah.
West Coast girl. So
Yeah,
again,
they're
yeah,
all over the
it's
place and they
perception.
just buzz around. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going back to what you're saying. It's perception. How you look at that parent's divorce. How you look at what even happened to your mom. So you are such
Yeah.
magic. Such magic.
Oh,
So
thank you.
anyway, so what are all the ways before we go that people can come? Where are they going to be able to find your podcast? I know you're just launching, and I don't know if
So
we
I'm
even have that
happy.
information. By the time this airs, we'll be able to
Yeah.
put it on the thing. But how do they
You
find you
can
in the
find me
meantime?
on my Instagram too. Like I'll have a lot of links on there. So I am, about to do that. We have Jay on there. That's my first one. And then I have you, and then I have Father Sebastian. Such wonderful souls. Thank you so much for connecting me with him and with Jay. He's amazing. And I have some new guests coming on. But yeah, they'll all be on my Instagram. I'm so excited. And I really do love the whole paranormal thing. I just have to step, one little step at a time. So
I'll help you with that.
I know.
I can
So
hold your hand.
I feel confident having the best good witch in the world next to me. So
Right, and I'm well, funny how you're talking about your mother was a witch. And we're like, "That's
yeah,
interesting."
yeah,
How again,
yeah,
Hollywood has tainted that, of course, what we do, but witches
yeah.
believe
And there's
that
a lot of
stuff.
fun facts about people that or about witches that people don't understand. So yeah, we'll get into that another time. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, you guys, and what is your Instagram?
So it was only just a dream, and that's with two T's. So ITT was only, and then instead of just, it's just a dream. It was only just a dream with two T's.
Okay, you guys check it out because she's gonna have amazing guests. She's an amazing host. She is a storyteller. So, and then if you're anywhere near any place, go find a place called the Pampered Peach and get a little get a little
And kind of
peach
a wax because
pamper.
there's nothing spookier than having a bad waxer.
Exactly. So go to the Pampered Peach. So thank you so much. You
Thank you,
guys are the
Patty.
best. The second I met
I
her.
love you, and I'll
Thank you.
see you soon. I'll be coming out there soon. So
See you soon.
see you soon. Bye.